Why, hello out there.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, another week, another terrible long desert of time between Always Strike's last episodes. But you, dear listener, have made it to part 3 of the Cities of Sigmar review episodes. So welcome. And we're going to have a pretty exciting time today, kind of traversing what has been already a scintillating book where humans are racist and very good now. That's, I think, probably the TLDR.
The goodness is not defined by their racistness. It's just that
very important
very important separation.
Dylan's still going to be running John Brown the army, kill all the racists. Like, we're still doing all that. Don't get me wrong.
Every flag should have a fist on it. Let's just do that, y'all. A great way to start. I love it. So,
well, we're a bunch of white guys on the internet. We got to clarify that.
That's
talking
true.
About Warhammer specifically.
That's true.
Because we can make the joke, but people are going to be like,
Yep.
But what, Matt?
Cleanly not about the racism. Let's just make sure that's established. But, you know, the fact remains that all the cities seem to have elf and dwarf districts are suspiciously empty in terms of the Warscrolls I used to love.
It's almost like they've been pushed out of the area against their will, and now they're corralled into this other area, which we'll go over. I mean, I don't think it's bad what it is, but they for sure are definitely trying to, let's say, keep them away from the area that this book lives in. Well,
again, it's like when you used to be able to bring in one out of every so many units as allies or whatever cities used to do in the second edition book that I loved and had my Stormcast and all my other crap in there, and they had the supplemental, hey, Settlers game gets these and this gets that. So,
Hey, that being said,
calling back to.
That being said, and I think we said this in the last episode, a lot of them were the same Warscrolls with minor tweaks. So in this one, we do have like a much more tooled up version for each Warscroll. Each unit has a purpose, and it's not copy and paste with a 3 and 4 instead of a 4 and 3 somewhere, right? So it's good. We made it past all the heroes on the last episode, which is
progress.
Hilariously. Go ahead, Rocco.
No, I'm with you. It is hilarious just how many heroes this book has compared to units.
Outnumbering the units, which is a little hero hammery, but and kind of fun. But what was 18 like hero scrolls versus 11 or 12 of the others, but.
There's actually,
when we look at it,
there's only 8
that came in.
There's only 8 actual Warscrolls that aren't heroes in this book that I can see.
Oh wow!
So
that's crazy.
It's kind of funny because, well, I guess when you look, it would be 9, 10, 11. It would be 11 with the adjutants and the whatever they're called.
Oh, the 3 of them are all one unit in my heart. I'll be cold dead on the ground before I go.
Cool. So 9.
There, deal.
I agree. They're a trio of Warscrolls that hang out together.
Yeah. Or
we finally made it to the non-named men who rank up in different ways and fight with their cool machines. We talk about those now. Guys to the actual book. Keep us honest. What's the first one we want to roll into?
Oh, my favorites. The ones I think are the unsung heroes. This entire book,
the steel helms.
Yep.
So you got to talk about them. You got to talk about these steel helms.
So we've already talked a lot over the past couple of episodes about what you can do with these steel helms, and I feel like I've been alluding to the possibilities of just all the craziness over the course of these 3 episodes now. But I just kind of want to explain like why I think they're so good. And the first thing that really comes to mind when I'm thinking about, hey, why are these guys so good, is their freaking points, man. They are cheaper than chips. If chips had cheapness, they would be steel helms. So steel helms are 90 points. 90 points for a 10-man unit. That's something. Not enough to shake a stick at. But one of the great things is you're not stuck in that like at 20 like Skaven are for honestly a fairly comparable unit when you start thinking about orders. So like you can actually fit an extra 10 in where you need them, right?
Yep.
And they're essentially they're better than just Skaven warriors. So there's that too. I think all around except for 3 class steps ahead, which you essentially get with this book anyways because of some of your orders. So let's go ahead and walk through the profile here. They got a movement of 5, 4 plus save, 1 measly health, and 1 measly control. 2 attacks, force to hit, force to wound, no ren, and 1 damage. And the cool thing about this is the unit's musician and standard bearer are the same model. So you don't have to worry about positioning with any of like your 2 models that will somehow lose you that 1 objective every freaking time somehow, right? As well as the extra dice on the rally. So those 2 right away, that's pretty cool that you only have 1 model that you have to kind of babysit, which you kind of don't really think about over the course of the game, but it is something where you can just easily know exactly where you want to have that position all the time. So pretty boring, right? Well, once per turn army, any combat phase, you can declare if this model has, or if this unit has 5 or more models, you can pick an enemy unit in combat with it to be the target. If your unit is under orders, which it should always be in the first place because these guys are much more effective under orders, so you roll a dice. Or sorry, you apply the effect below.
Yeah, you just get the effect. You get the effect that point.
Otherwise, you roll a dice, subtract 1 from the roll if the target is a monster, and on a 4 plus, you apply the effect below. For the rest of the turn, if this unit is in combat with the target, when the target is picked to use the fight ability, the unit must be picked to be the target of pile-in moves made by the target. And all attacks must go into that unit. So you've got your automatic meat shields. You can pick it on the turn that Karzai is coming in to wreck your cog fort, and say, you know what, I just don't like that, and I'm under orders, so you're going to have to take it. Now the profile itself is still crap, though, right? So like, when we look back at some of the characters that like really, really make this cool, again, Alchemite Warforger on a unit of 20. Throwing crit mortals. That is 41 attacks. Oh, wait. Yep, 41 attacks.
41.
41. Let's say you're a crazy person and, you want to do even more. You can literally run through all of the book, and every one of the heroes benefits these guys in an almost inordinate way. Like, they're not going to be crazy sledgehammers. They're not going to be like the most insane thing there, but they are clutch. They're going to be clutch in every game. Like,
not to Forge mention, Priest. You can give them extra rend if they get charged into the.
Yep.
The Donner's Triumph can go and give them a crit auto wound if you're going for volume of dice.
If you got the Forge Priest, he can give them a 5 and up ward.
Exactly.
And that's now 40 wounds, 5 and up ward, 4 and up save, which you can all out defense 1 unit, and then say, hey, come at me, bro, for a low rend opponent. Like, let's say Zangors, a full block of Zangors that haven't charged. That's pretty good. Obviously they very much benefit from everything Talia does.
Oh yeah.
Any of the healing stuff works on them very well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to be pretty rad. And they're also one of those units you can put in with like the heroic trait for Stentorian General. All of a sudden, your heroic trait is okay, cool. -1 to your ward rolls, and I'm throwing a ton of mortals at you. Cool, great, grand, wonderful, right?
Yep.
Any of the battle formations, they have pretty excellent use in. And then if you're going to do Dawnbringer Crusade, I mean, if it's not in combat, it moves 6. You now have, again, the super runny giant tar pit that costs you doubled up 180 points. They are amazing, and I would love to see patience in myself to be able to paint as many as I have, which I have a lot. But
I want to even add on
so
too,
awesome,
because you get that Steel of Helm and Heart, even if it's just the 90-point version, that is your anti-alpha tech, right? You know, if you're like, oh, I need to protect my Cavaliers, I need to protect my Gallants. Well, it's also the idea that you force them to attack your Steel Helms, right? Cool, you all out defense, great. You're free to all out attack with the other big thing, and you don't worry about them being -1 to save.
Yep.
Because it's already been diverted, life is good. And
I
just
think
mulch something.
that's the essence of it, right? Like even without all the frills and cool things, but that ability alone is so incredible. I mean, the thing that I always compare this to, which strikes me every time I look at it, is that this is the ability you have to pay a whole bunch of points to get on a character in Heat Knights right now, right? Like the Lord of Excess, or whatever he is, like the guy who's like, I'm kind of like a showman. And that's great, but his problem is he will die because he has 5 wounds, and he costs more as a base. These guys are multi-uses, multi-function. They're a good screen in general. They're a good objective sitter in general. And then they have this ability at what, like you said, 90 points. That's already just criminal. But what makes it so fun is that rather than having just that utility and knowing that they're going to do that and maybe die or stick around at the end of a game or the mid game where things are getting scrappy and you just need a unit to do certain things, this unit can just put on 15 different hats at once and all of a sudden do it because of all the stuff you guys are talking about. It's like, oh, do I need a unit that can go 18 inches across the board? All right, I get your magic flying cavalry with all the chained effects this turn. Great. Do I need a unit that can fight? All of a sudden I have, the Crit Mortals, and I can go in there and I have an incredible chance of doing the job when like a comparable unit would never be able to do that. It would just sort of like have a ceiling that's damage output against many of those targets.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta agree with you, Matt. They're kind of the meat and potatoes of all this like fun kind of opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like they're a sleeper of the book.
Ability for the more. So they did used to be able to put on a ward save. It got moved to the priest, but these are just still too. They're too good. It's great.
But even then, too, like if you're bringing them, you're going to have a hero support around them at some point, right? And the priest is going to be able to make them even better. Like, just right through, like he can sit there and give them benediction of the high heavens. It's just it's easy. And you're already on 7 dice because of the banner. But that being said, like any character fits into this. If you're doing a screen, or let's say you want to have Pontifex Sinestra, right? She turns the 20 block into Mortals on Death on 6s, right? It's just they fit into any of the heroes so effortlessly on any of the buffs or debuffs. It's kind of amazing. The only one that doesn't really make any sense for them is the Free Gold Cavalier Marshal, because he for horsey boys, So I love them. I think they're great. And they're 1 in 10, so you can get 2 musicians in there as well. So like there's
sorry, just I'm looking back to the Mouse Forge Priest because I'm like, it's only at 130. Because I have a list where I had like 20 points extras and extras 190. I could fit this guy and an extra unit of like, that's great. I'm just doing math on how cheap everybody is.
Yeah, and then think about how they work into Free Guild too. Let's say you really want to go ham on a bunch of random blocks. You can heal using one of them embedded in there. You can have one that's moving forward when your super rush one gets, adds 5 to the target's control score. They're going to outscore probably even. Did they outscore Sons of Bahamut at that point? Because they're 25, right? So yes, they would because they'd have one more.
Yeah,
pretty fucking close.
That's wild when you think about that way.
So if you're trying to capture terrain, you just get them all within the area of the terrain on the other side, so the Sons of Bahamut dude can't hit you, and you're good to go. Yep. Right? If that's part of your stuff, I mean, and then obviously as well, you can bring a Whisper Blade up on another unit. They're amazing. I feel like we're going to see probably a lot more Free Guild Grenadiers than we will them until all of a sudden people realize that they are the unsung heroes, the sleeper unit in this entire book, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, not for nothing, it'll be pretty fun when people's hordes of steel helms start to come out to play. It's just like oppressive because it'll kind of be like the Legos of Age of Sigmar, where you can just kind of build them up to be whatever your imagination needs in a given game.
I like that.
And yeah, it'll be good. But anyway, we've sung about the strength of the basic man quite a lot. Let's move on to another war scroll to give all of our dear listeners some variety. What's next in our list?
Oh, we got the Cavaliers.
Take whatever it is. It's Casino.
We got the Free Guild Cavaliers. The horsies.
It's some ponies.
And they fixed them.
All right.
Kind of.
They did.
Kind of.
Fixed is a strong word. Okay, let's find them over here in my potato can. Version of this this book. Free Guild Cavaliers. What are they hiding here?
Control F there. CAVA should get you.
I'm just jumping around.
Get up and get down.
Exactly. Rare found them. All right. What do we get? What are we dealing with here? All right. The Horsey Boys. Still some of the most amazing Baroque models. So, I mean, just a pleasure to paint. And
actually, they're
crazy.
Pain in the ass to paint.
They're a huge
both things can be true. It's like you said with the details. Too much details.
I have 20 of these guys, and they're a pain in the ass to paint.
Well, there's a bunch of dudes from Game of Thrones, knights with their special crests and all that. But let's talk about it. First, the basic profile. Yes, the nice to say knee.
Yes.
Well, if they were -1 horse, it'd be a lot quicker, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. But the coconut tax is fairly high in the mortal limbs. So, anyways,
that's for sure true.
Anyway.
That's right. We'll talk about these men on their horses. So, profile basic: move 10, health 3, 3 up save, 1 control. Pretty good. Nothing too surprising there. What about weapons? The Cavalier weapon. That's a 3 attack, so the 3 and a 4, rend 1, damage 1, starting base with a charge +1 damage. So coming off the charge, they are going to be damaged too. And of course, the unsung heroes of the Cavalry Regiment is always the horse. The war horses have steel shod hooves, which are 2 attacks at 5 and 3, but no rend for 1 damage. So what do they got going on? Well, there's a once per turn army and a charge phase called Storm of Steel, where if this unit is in combat and does not charge this turn, you pick an enemy unit that is in combat, and up to 1 friendly Free Guild Cavalier Marshal within their combat range. And then, presuming you're under orders for free, or if not, on a 3-up, then both the unit and the friendly target can use the charge ability, even if it's not your charge phase, even if the units are in combat, and they just have to end their move in combat with the enemy target, which is kind of a crazy thing, right? Because it means you're already stuck in with your cavalry hero and your cavalry, and you can charge again, which means you're always going to get your +1 damage, and you can kind of like reposition in crazy ways and go all sorts of places you're not supposed to be, because you have basically 9 inches of consolidation at that point. Or
and this
saves you the CP of a counter charge, huh?
Yep. And it's again like worth noting that they can also get a free countercharge, essentially from the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, and because of the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, they can also actually do impact hits. So they obviously work very well with him. Oh yeah, and he actually allows them to re-roll charges. So for that counter charge, which is just so great. So it makes a lot of sense how I would use these guys, which you push up the field a little bit early on, pop your all-out defense, and tank for a little while the rest of your unit catches up, or you shoot an army to death and then get free movement out of them on their charge phase, right?
We love a free pile.
And at 3 health, you've got a decent ability for power through. You can make it through most foot infantry. So I like them. I think they're good.
I do too. Yeah. Plenty of uses, and of course, it's not quite as spicy as with like the humble steel helm because of the economies of scale, but like with those, all those buffs, all of those abilities can really get them moving. Of course, in addition to the special ones coming off of the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. Yeah. So some fun stuff. Rocco, the next war scroll is yours, sir.
Free Guild Gallants.
I
am very excited.
Before we move on,
but wait, there's more.
Yeah, there is one thing, because it's been 2 episodes ago, so I do want to make sure that we're talking about where they fit, right? So one of the things that I think they actually inadvertently fit in very well, especially if you're going to go Cavaliers. The Cavaliers. They fit in very well actually with the Zealous Hordes battle formation. Because you can add 1 to wound, and it's not capped to infantry like a lot of the keywords are. So there's a secret all cav list there where once per turn you're going, screw it, I hit on 2s and 3s because I've all out attacked on this turn, and you're just going to take a ton of damage to attacks. It's pretty good. Yeah, there's a little secret build there.
That's a good shout.
You can't fail the charge if you're already in combat with the unit. So it's literally, even if you roll double 1.
It's the always be charging formation army combo. Yeah, I like it. I like it. That's a good shout, man.
Rohirrim is real.
Not for nothing. This is, I think, both the challenge for the people playing the book, which is a fun one, and a challenge for the people playing against the book, which there's a heck of a lot of conditional modular things that can happen. So you're going to play one of these units and get this bone deep sense of what they do, which is just going to be vaporware for the next time you see them based on someone else's combination of heroes, what they're doing, because of its, it's a sort of interlocular nature there.
And the hero does great on the counter charge for the units, and the unit lets them charge if they're already in combat.
It's just
it's the great synergy of this book.
And it really is built to move so much faster than your opponent will expect. These guys, just think about it, right? 10-inch move, and you got your 2d6 charge, averaging a 7. If you're me, you're averaging a 6. And then you make the charge in combat on the following turn. That's another potential 6. So yeah, pretty good. Yeah. I'm shooting low because any of the extra movement is awesome.
It's the only reason I'm not sold totally on swift reinforcements is the nastiness of that +1 to wound on Sigmar 8 units.
Which is where... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
This is where?
Matt was held in suspense and suspension by the internet, which didn't want all you dear listeners to hear his truth. But he's coming back.
This is where.
I'm back. This is where I see the Free Guild Still Helms fitting into... Oh my god, come on.
Blood
No,
Reds.
I've gotten so many different honorable mentions with that army at Nova, at Adepticon, and yeah, that was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, cool. I picked up the Donner's Triumph for that. So those free guild gallants, unless Matthew has come back. Hello, Matthew.
Yeah. So apparently,
You're
when
like high def now, buddy. You refresh your camera too.
Did you change service providers? Are you a Verizon customer now?
And we're back.
yeah. So apparently, when FIFA is holding games in your city, your internet tends to go a little bit more nuts than normal.
True.
So yeah, had to
That
restart the
actually is
router.
True.
So
Really? Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
that was a lot of fun. Anyways, that wasn't
Anyways,
recorded.
Gallants.
Whoever knows where it dropped off. So we're just going to keep going.
It should have dropped off right when I said, and free guild gallants.
The important thing is, due to our level of editing in this area, everyone who's listened to this far is going to have an exciting middle of the episode. But
Yes.
free guild
one way or the
gallants.
other.
Yes.
It's always strikes late, baby.
Oh yeah,
That's right. So these guys have got a bad rap. I want to know why.
The Cavaliers.
No, the Gallants. The Gallants.
Why do they have a bad rap?
they look good to me.
Yeah. Let me talk about them. All right, so they got a 5-inch. Let me talk my shit. 5-inch move, 2 health, 3 up save, 1 control. They've got weapons of gallantry because they want to hit you over the head with the alliteration. These are the good guys. Because Warhammer's full of good guys. 2 attacks, 3s to hit, 4s to wound, Ren 1 damage. Their first passive ability is not 1 step back. If this unit has not used a charged ability this turn, add 1 to the attacks and damage characteristic of this unit's melee weapons. So you don't charge, you're gonna be 3 attacks instead of 2 and 2 damage, which is great. Also, if you didn't charge and you're under orders, you give yourself extra rend. That's great. If they're next to a unit of steel helms, these dudes can be juiced the fuck up, and then they gotta attack the steel helms. That's great. A 90 point unit of steel helms can screen and tank for a 260 on the reinforcement.
Is that what the gallants are for 10 of them? Is 260?
Yeah.
No, it's a 1. Yeah, but they come in units of 5. So
that's what I was saying. 10 is the reinforced, right? That's pretty rough.
Yeah, 10's the reinforced.
Yep.
So they can be juiced the fuck up. Their other passive is break them upon the walls. While this unit is under orders, which it better be, the melee weapons of other visible friendly Sigmarite units, excluding gallant units, have anti-charge +1 rend while they are wholly within 12th of this unit. They buff other friendly units with anti-charge +1 rend. Where again, it's the Castlight formation, it's the lore, we're all anti-charge, we stand up here with our shields, and these guys can anchor a fucking battle line.
Yep. And
visually very appealing.
They can do some really wacky stuff if they're around, let's say, a Fusel Major with a Warhulk's Mace suddenly having Rend 2 when you've charged them.
Yeah.
Even just 5 of them, giving the steel helms themselves a little boost.
Yeah. Give your steel helm, your 20 block of steel helms to Pip and Rend. That's really nice.
Or a Cogfort suddenly has Rend 3.
Or a Cogfort.
Good point. Good point.
Cavaliers.
Yeah, they're interesting. I think
countercharge your Cavaliers to support the Gallants. Wait a minute.
Possibly. I mean, I mean, they don't have to be in combat for it, to be honest, right? So,
yeah.
Like the thing is, like, this is another one of those abilities where it almost feels like that's a deterrent as opposed to a useful skill, which a deterrent in and of itself is a useful skill. But like, if I know something has anti-charge, I'm going to pick on it in some other way,
Yeah.
or I'm just going to avoid it until it's the last thing and I know I have enough numbers. And I think that's where a lot of people are like, on it. Or they say that, and this is the one that, frankly, I was confused about, was people are saying they don't have staying power. And I'm like, excuse me? Have you seen the rest of this book? A 3-and-up save with 2 wounds? And then, you've got great healing from everywhere else if you want. The 5-up shrug from, another hero. There's so much there. This is another really good unit for not charging, keeping it by the steel helms, and possibly on this turn, throwing some mortals on them.
Yeah.
Just saying it damage too.
Is really nice.
Just saying, Internet, they're not as bad as you think. At 130 points, it's good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm in the good camp. I mean, just to think about them as a modular piece, right? Not like, they're going to be my Death Star, but they're part of this castle. Just 130 points, just 5. That they're relatively invulnerable as long as they're close to steel helms. They're going to have that free, attack me. They're going to give all the other units that anti-rend right there. They've already sort of paid for their points in a little way. But they're a good little tough unit. 2 health and a 3-up save is a great start. And the fact that they are going to most likely be putting out the 3 attacks and 2 damage, that's going to do work. That's just a great little addition. And splitting attacks is tough as hard at the best of times, right? So even if someone gets past the steel helms, more likely than not, they're going to be sitting there with a couple other units. So target priority is going to be a challenge, and they're not going to fail to provide value.
Yeah, and
100%. And again, this army being MSU, even to make sure you have enough stuff for all the orders, they're so worth the points at that point. So they're priced as a Stormcast unit would be.
Yeah.
Okay, they've got more rules than a Stormcast basic infantry unit would be at that price point.
They definitely got more support around them.
Yeah.
So
they wound on a 4. The whole book does. It's
change your formation. If you're really worried about it, change your formation, and then suddenly they're on 3s. Does it really matter that much with some of the crazy things you can do with them? Probably not, because you've already picked up a book where almost everything wounds on 4s.
We're built around wounding on 4s here. It's fine.
Yeah,
we're not elves.
What?
Sorry,
they're not elves. Oh crap!
No, they're not.
That being said, this is not a Death Star book in the first place, which is really interesting, because there are combos that you can bring out. I've been gushing over the Steel Helms, where it's that is oppressive. That's like fighting a ton of Plague Knights from 2nd edition, or not Plague Knights, Plague Monks from Skaven.
Yeah,
this is about the same as your Skaven book, sans real bully pieces. You have some bully heroes, but their output is much better in a coerced effort as a whole, as opposed to one bam bam,
Which I like, because that's the whole point of this, right? They're the basic ass humans. They should be the collective over the individual.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly that, and it works so well just as a theme that actually punches in the battlefield. It feels good, so I'm excited for it. But okay, Gallants redeemed, 3 Warscrolls down. Matt, your time in the sun, sir. What's Warscroll number 4?
Free Guild Grenadiers.
Matt.
Grenadiers or Grenadiers? Is it Grenadiers? It's Grenadiers.
It's Grenadiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
read. We're not French here, Matt. No, you can read.
I can't read.
People pronounce it differently.
So these guys are interesting. I still don't know how I feel about them. I like them, but I just don't know quite yet. They're one of those units that I have to use to figure out its actual place, its meaning, because they're kind of like a master of none kind of unit, but they have some things going for them. So move on a 5+, save on a 4, 1 health, 1 control. they're steel helms. They're squishy as steel helms. So that's kind of where I get a little, okay. What they do have is a Ruin Sweeper arsenal with a range 10, 1 attack, 4 is to hit, 2 is to wound, Ren 2, damage 1. Nice. Not bad for some grenadiers, some little grenadiers. Yeah. And then they've got their Grenadier Bardish. Okay.
Bardiche.
Okay. 2 attacks.
See?
4 is wound.
Big fucking axe. That's all you got to worry about. Big fucking axe.
Yeah. Basically the thing they set their gun on.
Yes.
Which is decent. That's 5 of these guys, so that's 11 attacks.
That's a unit of 10 normally, Matt.
Oh, it is 10. So yeah, that's actually a lot more attacks.
There.
See, can't read. So
it's always strikes late. Everyone knows you can't read right now. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're reading.
And I love it because it says 1 in 10 immediately underneath what I was just saying. So 1 in 10 of these can be a Cinder Gout. That's the dude with the flamethrower, which is super cool that we've got, Promethean fire here. And it's once per turn. End of any turn, go ahead and use your Cinder and Ashes ability. If the unit contains a Cinder Gout, pick a terrain feature or objective contested by this unit, then pick any enemy units contesting that terrain feature or objective to be the targets. Roll a D3 for each target. On a 2+, they get mortals. So nice chip damage. If you know somebody's swarming an objective, or if you know somebody's on the other side of a piece of terrain waiting to kind of come at you on the next turn, this is great. They don't, however, to me, feel like they fit anywhere like where I would use them except for with the Wild Corpse Hunters. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But what do you guys think about this this unit?
So for me, my favorite Stormcast hero back in the day was the Knight Heralder, dude with the trumpet, giving the toots on the terrain pieces. It won me my first tournament ever. Because one of my games, someone it was a Night Haunt player had like 3 heroes on a big ass hill in the middle of the board, and I warned him, but he's like, no, that's where the objectives are, I gotta play it with whatever. And I blew the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
And I got a double, and I did it again, and these 5 wound heroes will die. Now, again, it's the 2-up for D3 mortals. It's chip damage. It's not the craziest thing, but in a world where, we have maps for terrain and they're being used, there will be opportunities to use them. Is it worth 90 more? Sorry, because it's 90 to these guys are 140 right now compared to Steel Helms. To slap a gun in them and say you got a 2 damage axe instead of the sword. Yeah, a lot of armies would say yes because they get a rend on their melee weapon, dump up to 2 damage, getting even a 10-inch gun when we know we're gonna be changing GHBs where hopefully obscuring will be toned down. If not, there's no way it's gonna be gone, but toned down a little bit. I want to really like this unit. It makes sense. And again, 10 of them in the everything is telling me yes, this should be great. But in a book this stacked, I don't know if it's worth the 140.
So that's where my head is at with them.
Which is crazy because this is a great profile.
I mean, it's an okay profile, right? So we know the melee attacks unsupported, 25% of those are going to get through, right?
Yeah.
So we are paying a little bit more.
For humans, this is...
Yeah, for humans, this is a great profile. I mean, these are, when we put it in context of everything else that we've seen so far, these guys are 10 points more than the Free Guild Gallants, right? So
You can go
that's where
preference on that one. It's fine.
balance. So it becomes this kind of weird thing where it's like, does that actually work for me? And I think they do have a place. I can immediately see like the potential for like two ways of use, right? The first is you hoard them up because nothing's more funny than 21 all-out attack shots on 3s and 2s, rend 2, 1 damage, and then an extra little D3 mortal wound bomb because somebody was hugging terrain and you were able to see him. Like that to me is funny. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Oh, it is.
But the other thing is using them again with the Wilder Corpse Hunters and having them be this 130 point unit, even if it's just on its own, or if you want to double it up, which is a little bit more than I would do for that like backyard distraction carnifex thing. You know, like I could very much see them just show up in the backfield in your opponent's side and be that, hey, you're going to have to deal with me and it's not going to be fun unit. And I think they would excel at that.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I think, a very fair point. And maybe something neat, you know, to find their use. But that's kind of be like when you're thinking about that combo build and you and the Wilder Corpse Hunters together. But I think to Rocco's point, I do kind of feel like there's so much other gas in the book too. Like you might just not have enough left to play with that. You might just be stuck with the other things.
Well, there's, you know, let's say maybe you don't want to paint 60 steel helms. You've suddenly found a way to reduce your.
Listen, 80 Bastigor.
Hey. Which I have 80, by the way, as well as steel helms. So let's. Yeah, I do.
Okay. That joke will now be 80 steel helms. Okay.
I'm sticking with Bestigor. I like Bestigor. It was the Bestigor.
All right,
it was the Worstigor.
It was the Bestigor, then the Restigor.
Yeah.
I also kind of want to point out that like if you put them in the Horde battalion, they're suddenly wounding on 3s. If you have them next to Free Guild Gallants, they're now rend 2. On somebody charging into your little 10-man screen of Free Guild Still Helms. And then, you know, Mortals also go really well on this if you don't even want to add the Free Guild Gallants. You just throw the spell from my favorite little character, and suddenly now you've got Mortals with damage 2. You're throwing lucky Fire Slayer numbers, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they have the potential. It's just, for some reason, I expect them to be 2 health because they're 10 points more than the Free Guild Gallants. Even though they've got 10 guys, there's just something there. It's like their immediacy. They're right next to the Gallants who have 2 wounds. You could have 2 wounds. Why don't you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, then the 4-up saves because they're not as heavily armored. You know, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm there with that assessment. It tricks the eye.
Defensive, yeah.
Okay, so we had some Grenadier talk. What other unit is on the list next in the book for you guys?
We got the Great Cannon. It's time for that Ironwell.
Yeah.
Oh, the classic. The classic.
The classic got real good. Classic got really good.
All right. Let's talk about the cannon. I'm running up to it right now on my potato camera.
Also, shout out Jack for talking me into buying a second one back in the day. He tried to get me to get 3, but
foresight. I had the foresight.
2 is still really good.
3 is better.
An amazing model. Oh,
dude, that model was a pain.
I just love it.
It was a pain to put together.
It's the detail, so man. Cool, the little diorama there. It's cool.
There's so much going on with it. Yep.
I just find the lines of it pleasing. And I have my artillery too, and the Hellsmith side of things. But like, and those are cool lines with like guys doing stuff and crew members, and also levels of detail. But the way this one comes together feels so real. And I just love like that stained wooden painted mantlet look they have going on with it. But in terms of what it actually does for you when you take one of these, hefty 3-inch move, which makes a lot of sense. You look at the model, 6 health, 4 up save, and 2 control. But that's not why you're bringing it. You're bringing it because it has a great cannon. 24-inch range, 3 attacks, 4 is to hit, 2 is to wound, 2 rend, D3 plus 2 damage. That feels really good to have the native 3 attacks to that profile. I won't even mention their melee weapons. Let's just say the Cruel's Tool and sidearms will disappoint you. But their once return army any shooting phase, which means your opponent's shooting phase, if you do cover fire, is relentless bombardment, where you pick an unit that's targeted by its shooting, and you roll a dice. And you add 1, of course, if this thing's under orders, say let's make it better. But on a 3-up, you can subtract 2 from the charge rolls and run rolls for the target unit until the start of your next turn. So if you want to really get a lot of mileage out of this, you can snipe something which is not the closest unit in your turn and make sure that it's peppered and it's kind of a hard time charging you. All of a sudden, even a 3-inch charge is a little dicier. And you can also pick off whatever comes closest if it's not that same thing, and make it so your defensive line just got even better because you have all those layers and all those things, and you just stagger them. So yeah, of course, your Fusel Major and the Warhawk can make these guys a little easier to hit because if I recall correctly, it's pretty much a universal +1 that's when they mark, right?
Yep, it's pick an enemy unit within 24, and they got to be under orders, which they should be anyways. That's how you're building your list, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, they're great, and they're 140 points.
Yeah.
Like, that's where... yeah.
Oh, you go, Matt.
That's where I have trouble with thinking of the other, the Grenadiers in the list, right? Which is like, but I could boom boom.
100%. I can boom boom better. I can boom boom farther. I can just target an enemy in shooting to get that ability off once per turn army. That's not even, I have to do damage with my boom boom. And at 3 attacks, even hitting on a 4-up, you're going to get the damage. You're statistically going to do a lot better than... It's just such a great output from range when you're going to get several rounds of shooting in. And it's such a useful ability for -2 to charge.
It's just...
and again, it's great for a reason.
Yeah, and like it's so cheap. It's so cheap. Like,
yeah,
like potential damage 5 is, less scary. But like, who cares? Either all out attack or coordinate attacks from the Fusel Major, and you have 2 or 3 of these.
In order, Matt, one of the orders is to give you +1 to hit and shooting.
But you don't know if you necessarily want to do that when you got the Fusel Major. But if you don't, then hell yeah.
Or if the rest of your shooting already knocked off the Fusel Major marked, then you throw that on the other, the thing that hasn't shot yet.
Yeah. I mean, you do that at the start. So you do that at the start of your turn. But like at the very least, you can... your target priority is kind of like target priority will be a thing, obviously, with any of the shooting. But like if you have 2 on each side, like let's say 1 on each of your 2 objectives in the backfield, or maybe even 3 if you have 3, there's no reason not to. It's really good.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, no. And it so this is Rocco wondering if you get a bunch of cannons or you get a cog for it.
Well, I think statistically you could probably do the cannons and probably get more damage out of it, if I remember correctly. But we'll do that when we get to the cog for it.
Yeah.
Because that's what, 3, 4, 20 for 3 of them.
Yeah.
As opposed to the cog fort, which is
500-ish.
Yeah.
For the cannonade cog fort specifically.
So like,
Which again, Cogforts have a bunch of cool abilities and stuff where, but it makes me wonder the budget version, if I need to save points on something. Cannons are a good option.
yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Well, let's keep.
yeah, we'll do the comparison with Cogfort when we get back to it. But I think potential of 3 of them does more damage than the Cogforts, to be honest. And you're not splitting.
Yeah.
You're not splitting fire, which is always, tempting the dice gods for pain and sorrow.
Yep.
Yes. So let's move on to the Fusiliers. I think that's your fun Fusiliers.
It is. I actually am a big Fusilier fan. One, I love that. I love the models. I love the idea that they're Hussites reimagined, and I love the change they got here. Like, yes, the Fusil cannon is 18 inches, 1 attack, forged to hit, choose to wound, rend 2, 1 damage.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's not 4s and 4s anymore. I don't mind that I lost the 1 attack, because it was probably going to be gone anyway. But I'm also jumping the gun a bit. 5-inch move, 1 health, 4 up save, 1 control, went over the gun. We don't need to talk about the bayonet. But while the Free Guild Fusiliers are under orders, they have shoot and combat finally, which is the whole point of their whole lore, is that they got the big old guns that can shoot in combat. Finally, they're not just going to get tagged and be stuck and screwed. And also, -1 from the rend characteristics of weapons used to attack this unit, which is great. They got the big-ass Pave shield. It should have been like this.
Yeah.
Again, it's very easy to have everybody under orders in this army.
Mm-hmm.
And it's extremely useful. And then they have a once-per-battle reaction where you declare the shoot ability with this unit, and this unit is in combat. This unit's Black Powder Squire is a token. Remove the unit's Squire from the battlefield and add 1 to the rend to your ranged weapons. So they're just rend 3 just to really pound it home to kill whatever you're going into.
Yeah.
Which, again, move 5 at an 18-inch shot. My whole thing is if I take the battle formation, let's move the 6 inches. I've got a block of 20 of these guys. I will be in range to shoot you if you give me first turn. You cannot be cute and be like, hey, I'm going to deploy way back, make them waste a turn in shooting. I'm going to hug all the terrain. I will get you, motherfucker.
Well, and
this will happen.
Great thing, too, is they're going to be always the ones under orders for +1 to hit. So hitting on 3s, and then if you are in a spot where, like, I don't know, somebody's got a -1 to hit and you've got a Fusil Major around, you can automatically knock that back to a 3 super easily. And they're 120 points. They're so cheap. They're so cheap for what they do.
It's a little scary, honestly, just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why, again, they're 1 attack each. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't got to worry about if they moved or not, fortified or, make it simpler. They're under orders. They get all this cool shit. They get the full range of their gun. I love the changes that happen to this unit.
I love the combos that can come out of this unit. Again, a 10-man steel helm screen saying, no, you can only fight me on the turn that somebody charged you. Maybe you got the Galons hanging out. Maybe not. Who knows? But hey, you know what? Next turn, you're stuck in combat because you couldn't kill those stupid steel helms for some reason. Or you killed all the steel helms, but you couldn't kill me. Guess what? You're in combat with me, and I'm going to shoot you with that extra -1 rend. Good job.
Rend 3 shooting.
Mm-hmm. I feel it would be remiss of me, due to my embittered grumbling theme for a certain army that I play right now, not to draw a very direct comparison, which is pretty funny. These guys are 120 points, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So think of none of the other cool stuff we just talked about you being able to do. There's like this raw profile.
Yeah.
You're 18 inches, you're 1 shot, you're 4 up, 2 up, rend 2, damage 1.
Mm-hmm.
with that black powder squire, where you can say, "Hey, you know what? You go away. I want to be run 3 for this particular turn."
Jack,
Yep.
they're
Goes pretty
so
easily.
good. They're so good, and they're tall.
And they're tall.
And
But
they're
like tall in so many ways. I
Wow.
just have to look at this and say, so wait a second, you're telling me that the artifice of the Dark Ziggurat produces a 120 point unit of men who are 5 strong, not 10 strong. So same points.
Don't
Also
belittle
have
him,
one
please,
shot.
Matthew.
Also have the same range.
Uh-huh.
Also have a similar profile, like a 3-2 rather than a 2-2.
Don't they have 2 attacks on your 5-man?
No, they have 1 attack.
Yeah, they only have one.
Yeah. And they do damage too, to be fair.
Okay.
But their rend is natively 0. I have to pour liquid demon gasoline fuel into my things with demonic power points to get them up to rend 1, 2, or 3. So there's a pretty big, whoa, these guys kind of feeling difference here. These
Well, I
guys, I think, won the arms race.
You could really say that you guys are looking up to them.
Mm-hmm.
They aspire to be giants in the field, like the few
because they're so
slaps.
tall. Because they're so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they're tall. Embittered grumblers of the Ashmar.
You guys are gonna get.
Don't be so short about it, man.
Yeah.
Your day in the mutated sun might come. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the GHB is going to treat you well. That's my guess. Yeah. That is my guess.
I hope so.
I completely agree.
I think the GHB is going to treat these guys like they're on fucking turbo, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That being said, I mean,
time to go back home.
I do think these guys are going to eventually make their way back up to 140 to 150, to be 100% honest.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely will.
100%.
So, like everyone who went out and bought the 3rd edition book, like if you're going to go and buy 400 Fusiliers, just know you probably only will be able to use 100 of them. Like,
yeah.
Chill,
Don't
brah.
do it.
Chill, brah.
Don't
be that guy.
No.
You're gonna just be sad.
You get 2 blocks of 10 or 1 block of 20, and you feel good about it.
Yep, and
you take all the buffs and the healing and everything.
Go into it, lean into it. Get 2 blocks of 20, and then you're good to go. That's all you'll ever need. You don't need 60.
Yeah. Then you don't need to worry about cannons. You know.
Just a little bit of moderation. I'm there with you.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. I like them. I think they've somehow ridden that, that continual wave of, we got really good. We're too good. Now we suck. Now we're good. Now we suck. Now they're just at like, this is a good solid unit. It can be overtooled when you need it to at the cost of other units and your list build. But like living at 120 points, you're not going to be like, oh God, this is going to wreck my list to have these guys in it. You can throw them in if you have enough points to go above steel helms,
Mm-hmm.
I like them.
Oh, it's fun. Okay, so another winner. The theme continues. What do we got left?
I'm shocked.
We got the Wilder Corpse Hunters.
All right, you started the first part of the combo, Matt, with the Grenadiers there.
Mm-hmm.
I somehow lined that up correctly there, huh?
Yeah.
So these guys
on purpose too.
Yeah, I do everything purposefully. It's never a happy accident. They're interesting. Normal human profile, move of 5. They only have a 5 and up save, so they are pretty squishy, even for Cities of Sigmar. Health 1, control 1, expected. They do have hunting crossbows, but I don't believe it is. Yeah, it's only 6 hunting crossbows, which is worth noting. Well, actually 7 because of the leader.
Combine the profile of the big ass.
Yep. So essentially, you've got 8 attacks or 8 people shooting this hunting crossbow at range of 15 2 attacks, 4s and 4s, rend 1, damage 1. Not bad. Not bad at all. Good blink damage, right? My goblins on spiders could only dream. Their melee weapons are, nothing to, swing a stick at either. 2 attacks, 4s and 4s, no rend, damage 1. And then you get 2 companion attacks from the doggo at 4s and 4s, no rend, damage 1. Which is kind of annoying. If you do have any like random stuff that you're throwing on here, you're going to have to set your dice aside. But, it is what it is with these Warcry units. So their cool thing, though, is once per turn army in the deployment phase, you can pick this unit and up to 2 friendly non-monster or non-war machine Sigmarite units. No castles. Sorry, guys. And no crazy heroes. Although it does not say unique. So if you do have a foot hero that's unique, that is not a monster, you can take it. So worth noting. And if none of them had been deployed, you can set those units up in reserve, scouting ahead. They've now been deployed. So essentially, it's yield, yoink, I'm taking these 2. They're going to sit by this World of Corpse Hunter. And I'm actually going to do a lot of drops fairly early. So you can actually kind of screw with people on this, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't count as a separate drop. They just count as being deployed right away.
Yep.
So there's an easy way of getting stuff down on your list, which is really cool, especially if you're going to try an MSU until that gets eroded or fact or whatever. But once per turn army in your movement phase, you pick the unit. If it's scouting ahead, set the unit up on the battlefield, wholly within 9 of the battlefield edge and more than 9 from enemy units. Oh, beasts of chaos. Then set up each other friendly unit, scouting ahead, wholly within 12 inches of this unit and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So you can essentially do a little leapfrog using the Wilder Corpse Hunter. And that's where I think the free build Grenadiers actually work, because they're only 10-inch range. Well, you can get them in an area where, you're probably going to get charged in the next turn. You can also just get free movement from them out in somebody's backfield if you position correctly, and then have them, wholly within 9, then wholly within 12. So you can actually get a good middle board if somebody's moved up before your third turn, right? If you're playing a hyper-aggressive army and you've got these guys just sitting there, you now have an admittedly 140-point unit that you can then trade up into other units having to come back to you instead of, or come back into the backfield instead of coming up to your main force, which is really cool. I think it works really well.
They'll kill a hero. They'll kill a screening unit that's trying to hold a back corner of something.
Yeah. And, you can bring them supported if you want to do something cool, because there's a ton of random little things you can do, right? You can bring any of the wizards. You can bring Erasmus on if you want, because he's not a monster. You can bring the Malice Forge Priest if you want him to live a little bit longer. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you can do there.
Bring your Warforger to set up on the next turn if you're shooting for a double mortal wounds on the Wilder Corpse Hunters, or because that's 25 attacks.
You can mainline Zenestra into the backfield if you want. Like, there's a lot of really weird stuff that you can do with them, which is nice.
Keeps the Soggy Prayer to bring units back to her. This would be a hell of a setup piece.
Yeah. So
it's honestly the yoink factor is just really great. The flexibility and the tech.
Yeah.
Just even having that ability, you can just bring a little boat. Amazing.
And that being said, I expect this to go to non-unique, non-monster, and non-war machine, just because.
Yeah.
But for the moment, you can have fun with doing some really wacky shit. That being said, again, I the main thing I would do with these guys is just load them up with grenadiers, and just stick them in the back. Or, if you want to go crazy, throw some cab in there. You play a lot of horses, throw 2 units of cab. Now you've got some actual tanks, expensive tanks, but you've got some tanks.
You got your charge where you can make the lowest D6 the highest to try to get that 9-inch charge better off.
If you want to go oops all steel helm, you can even drop 2 big old blobs of steel helms back there. Say, and that's not even a quarter.
It doesn't matter if it's reinforced or not. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's not even a quarter of your list, I think. So like, there's a lot of utility for these. The only thing, is you can't like go nuts on it. It's just once per army. So, I wouldn't expect to see more than one of these units, unless you want to trick somebody by pulling them out and doing it. But I don't see any use for these guys other than having one unit in your army, and that's coming from the guy who does doubles of everything. So, sorry, Wilder Corps.
I mean, because they lost their pregame move, but this is so much better.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you guys on that.
Yeah.
So, what's next on our list? Is it one of the cog forts, or are we missing a regular Warscroll still?
We've made our way to the cannonade.
Man. Finally. Yep. Cannonade cog
the
fort.
Centerpiece model that everyone is being asked to buy because of the accessibility. But this is
and I've posed the question. You might have dropped first. I would have posed the question: what is more efficient, a bunch of great cannons or this cannonade cog fort?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, how much is the great cannon?
Great cannons are 140. So 3 of them is, I just did the math and now we suck. 420? Yeah.
Yep. And this is not too much more than that. So, was it 9 shots versus 4 shots in terms of the big cannon?
Well,
I guess we haven't said about the profile yet.
Let's go through the Warscroll.
Rocco hasn't. I can talk a little bit about it. You guys all got to jump in. It's one of the biggies, right? This is like a premier piece. So what do we got here? It's move 6, 25 wounds, a 3 of armor save, and control score 10. So already a chunky beast to be sticking cannons on. This isn't like, I got my little screen unit to charge in your back line and clear up your artillery. Like these are.
This is 530 points.
530 points for some heft. These cannons are not going away anytime soon.
Some chunky legs.
All right. Chunky legs. So, a little vulnerable to anti-hero ran and all that kind of stuff, but chunky. So, what do they got for range weapons? You come standard issue with a Godbreaker cannon. It's a 24-inch range, 4 shot, 4 is to hit, 2 is a wound, rend 2, 4 damage flat weapon. Also has a little fun 12-inch breacher cannon, which is 6 shots at 3s and 3s, run 1, 2 damage. And then the cruise lead shotters, which are shooting combat.
Breacher cannon is an anti-infantry -1 rend as well. So
yes. So good at rend -2 there. Yeah. Shouldn't overlook that. But if that's not enough, you do have a 3rd shooting profile, or the lead shotters, which is, I guess they're short pistols or whatever. And those are another 12-inch ranger, 6 shots, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, D3 damage.
The lead shotters are really cool. It's basically like a big ass shotgun. That's a multi-barreled. It's like a 20-barreled shotgun they have on a swivel.
Where is that? Is that a thing that's highlighted in the photo there? It's like a little,
the dude's really looking like Iron Man.
Iron Man with really wide apart eyes. Looks like a Necron stole his job.
All right, so definitely good volume of firepower here and some breaker cannon type stuff. But I don't know, Rocco, I think if you want just pure long range versatility, 9 shots with D3 plus 2 damage, the 24-inch range is better than 4 shots with 4 damage.
It is worth noting that from flat movement, right? we do have a 6-inch move on top of that. So we've got a 30-inch range on these 4 attacks. Whereas with because that's the only thing that's going to be in range. Whereas with the Iron Weld, you're only actually going to have 27 inches. So there is also that. If you're like that concerned and you're that crazy on your deployment, which honestly you should be, if you got this thing in there, because it is going to be a target.
That's true, but you know we didn't even get to their rules, Matt, where it changes the calculus even further than just the profile, right? And some of that kind of stuff.
The melee weapons. Did we do the melee weapons?
We didn't. We haven't gotten that far. So these things can fight it better than a cannon.
To go through. There's a bunch of stuff.
Let's keep it going. I mean, well, first of all, the melee weapons, you're crushing iron feet. 4 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 4 damage. It's a monster profile which can clear out some stuff. Having a 4 damage attack on your non-fighty shooty castle piece is kind of a nice gimme right there.
Turtle doesn't even have 4 damage anymore.
I know, Shelly. What happened?
3.
And remember, you can add a rend to it if you're by the gallons. And there's always a way to get +1 to hit. So it is consistently scary.
One of the better fighting profiles I've ever seen in a giant walking castle. I'll say that much. But yeah, then there's this other secret sauce. I mean, even before these really came out, there was sort of descriptions of the heat token system and all that we had to know about. But here it is. You can go quote unquote full power for one of these once per turn in any hero phase. That means your opponents too, if you feel like it. And you could pick one of these effects and give your thing a heat token. And these effects are great. They're just like pure gas in all these different ways. The first one is launch countermeasures, which is turn this giant pie plate base into a aura 12-inch range. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for shooting attacks target any other Sigmar units with their polar within 12.
Smoke
which
launchers.
Is a huge protective buff.
Smoke launchers.
Huge protective buff. Yeah. And then if you want to choose a different poison, you want to go faster, 6 inches isn't enough for you. You can go full throttle and move 10. So all of a sudden your Godbreaker is an effective range of 34 inches.
Yeah.
And of course, you're not too worried about reprisals because you're a blocking castle. Then you have one called Calculate Firing Solution, where for the rest of the turn, each time you use a shoot ability, you can reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound for shoot attacks with the Godbreaker cannons, which makes those 4 shots just feel a lot more reliable all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, there's a Get Us Out of Here where you can use shoot abilities even if you retreated. So you can choose to skedaddle and still shoot everything if someone thinks they've tagged you. So that's just great.
Yeah.
There's a downside though. So good.
Yeah.
But these heat tokens. Well, that's the overheating. Anytime you resolve the full power ability, you gotta roll number dice equal number heat tokens. If you reach 5 up, you take 1 damage. Then you remove a heat token, which is such a paltry trade. Like I would never worry about that with 25 health.
No. And then you can rally this and you're fine.
Exactly.
So many things and you're fine. Yeah.
But wait, there's more. They have a special ammunition where once per turn army, you declare a shoot ability, and if they're under orders, you roll a dice, and on a 3 up, you can pick one of these effects. So they do make you some chance on this one. But the first one is Null Shot, where you can subtract 1 from war rolls for damage points inflicted by attacks made with the Godbreaker cannon. Ouch, right? That's like, your big armored monster that has the 3 up, 5 up. Now it's a 3 up, 6 up, and your Rend 2 or Rend 3. He just slices through things like butter.
What's this anti-turtle bullshit?
I know. Then there's Heavy Shot, where you just add one of the Rend characteristics, which means you can be going to Rend 3 pretty easily or Rend 4 in the right circumstances. And then Grape Shot, which is after the shoot ability has been resolved, if all the attacks from the Godbreaker target same enemy is do an additional D3 mortals on each other enemy unit within that enemy unit's combat range, which is kind of like the ability on the Warpbolt Scourger, which I always really liked. But these are great. Just the first one alone is wonderful, just to be able to say
all the death armies, all the Nurgle bullshit you got to deal with.
Exactly, a walking ward destroyer. Are you kidding me? This thing's amazing.
Well, the hilarious thing too is if you put this in Stalwart Guardians, and you rally, you've got a 9 dice rally for them each turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
You're not blowing through so many CP as well because every other ability in here really goes off of under orders, not CP.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have the command points to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think Hell 25 will go faster than a lot of people realize with some of the actual, Death Stars out there.
Yeah, because there is no ward on this.
Yep.
And the best ward that you can get in cities on a war machine is a 6-up.
I mean, it's really comparable to like fighting a unit of Liberators, essentially. Liberators with a 6+ ward. Unit of 10.
Yeah. No, I'd even go so far. It's a Gargant that shoots.
Mm-hmm.
It has slightly less wounds.
And slightly less damage. Well, in the wrong circumstances, I guess.
Yeah.
It's good. It's solid. Is it worth 530 points? I think so.
Yeah, I think so. This variant has so much flexibility.
Yeah, give it, especially the special ammunition. I feel like I don't want to say, it might be a little overcosted, but given the rest of the book being so cheap, this thing needs to be expensive.
Yeah, I mean, and and they're definitely like it does not get a lot of the buffs that other units do.
Mm-hmm.
But it is.
But a Fusel Major is this thing's best fucking friend.
Oh yeah, it's self-contained. The only other thing that really stands out to me is that there's a prevalence of anti-hero on the board right now.
Yeah.
And that usually involves +1 rend. So I would be a little wary of some of the builds that are probably going to get popular in, as a result of this becoming meta for at least 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right. But, at least in the city's army, not like the, folks who's bringing it to the Regiment of Renown. If only there was a solution. So when they bring in that big anti-hero tech, you could just casually have all those attacks go to something just sitting nearby.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be. Maybe Helms the Storm.
Yeah. Exactly. But of course, it's not even the only cog for it, guys. There's a cousin cog for it, right?
Yeah, the Conqueror.
There's so many cog for it variants.
The Conqueror, yeah.
Is it me?
I think this is you.
All right. The Conqueror cog for it. Also a 6-inch move, 25 health, 3-up save, 10 control. I believe it comes in around 440 for points right now if you're counting at home. This one has the Realm Scorcher Flame Cannon, anti-infantry +1 rend. 18 inches, a 6d6 attack characteristics. So roll 6, 6-sided dice to get your hits or get your attacks. It hits on a 2, wounds on a 4, rend 1, damage 1. Just big ass flamethrower, which we love. And again, if you get everyone's got infantry somewhere. The Chosen hate seeing this fucker pull up in a big stone cogfort. And this also has lead shotters that have shoot in combat. Again, still a 12-inch range, 6 shots, 4s and 3s, rend 1 damage, D3. Still have the feet, still the crushing iron feet. And also the funny part is that when these cogforts degrade from battle damage, the feat profile goes from 4 attacks to 3, and its control goes from 10 to 5. So it goes to normal control monster. Which again, we love our big house walking castle. The things that make this different is we get the all aboard in the deployment phase. We can pick up a friendly Sigmarite infantry hero and up to 1 friendly non-hero Sigmarite infantry unit that has not been deployed. Set those units up in reserve to be passengers, and they get to hitch a ride onto here.
So again, you can beat drops if you're using this.
Yeah.
And the Wilder Corpse Hunters, you can suddenly outdrap your opponent.
Yep. And it's really nice. Like, oh, you're 3 drops, I'm 2, you go first, let's see what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, boom, here we are. We also have a fun table. This is the full charge table. Where you get, again, number of heat tokens. You can do breaching assist if this unit uses the Sally Forth ability, which is it shoots out the passengers there as if they charged. The melee weapons used by the targets of that ability have charge +1 damage for the rest of the turn, which is really nice. Again, Gallants being damage 3 is really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can go full throttle, get your movement characteristic up to 10 again, repel borders. For the rest of the turn, add 2 to the attacks characteristics of the Ledge Shotters and Iron Feet. So extra shooting in combat's great.
Mm-hmm.
The D3 damage. You can disengage the safeties for 4 tokens here, where for the rest of the turn, the attacks of the Realm Scorcher Flame Cannon is now 22, which is really nice. Because 6 times 6 is 36, but if you want that nice steady average and not leave it up to the dice, 22 attacks is really fucking good.
Yep.
Part of me wishes that the big flamethrower also had shoot in combat, but
really feels like it should, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, of all the things you'd think, but this is still fine.
I mean, if you look at the model, it's pointing over, right?
Yeah.
Probably don't want to throw your napalm on your legs and then melt the iron or something, right?
Fine, be reasonable. And then finally, we have the get us out of here, where we can shoot even if we retreat at the same turn.
Yeah, which I feel is much better on the Realm Scorcher, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Again, that's why we don't really need the shooting combat anyway. But then our final ability here is the Sally Forth. Oh, and also the overheating passive is still here too from before to try to get rid of heat tokens. But Sally Forth, as I said before, if this unit has not used a run ability this turn, pick this unit's passengers to be the target. This is any charge phase once per battle. Set up each target wholly within 6 of this unit and either not in combat or within half an inch of an enemy unit. If the target is set up, it has charged. Then if this unit is not under orders, this unit and the targets are under orders for the rest of the battle round. So, you're like, oh yeah, well they're not out in the hero phase. That's fine. They miss under orders and miss all the good cities buffs, and it goes psych, motherfucker. Here you go.
Yep.
Yeah. No, this is really nice. This is the cheaper cog for it. Sure, you lose out on the shooting. And I feel like someone said somewhere you shouldn't be able to have a reinforced unit of infantry. I don't see anything preventing you though.
That's later in the book. That's later in the book.
That's later in the book?
Yeah.
Is that for like okay.
Okay, that's a different thing then.
But that being said, a unit of 10 gallants.
Mm-hmm.
Fits nice in here.
So it's really interesting because in this comparison against the 3 cannons, I choose the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Even though it's much closer than the 3 cannons. Because this saves your units right up until you need them. It's very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Hold the midfield.
Cannonade. Oh, don't go, man.
I just hold the midfield. Drop in your. We're gonna go back to it. Drop in your steel helms with your Alchemite Warforger and throw out some mortals because you're immediately out there under orders, and on the next turn you're gonna make some boom booms. Throw some mortals.
Yeah.
I just love the delivery.
Yeah. The fact that you can immediately charge is very good.
Yeah. Not even that, you count as charging.
Yep. There's no risk. No like dicey charge. Just drop them off in combat or drop them off 2 inches from combat if you can't quite make it that far. Like it's have fun, kids. And I think that's compelling as a use case.
It does kneecap the gallants a little bit because they really want to have not been charging, right? So there is that.
Yeah.
But
Imagine executioners in here though, because we still have those legal for a year,
mhm.
or like some other great sword, great weapon situation.
Well,
That's a good point.
here's an even dumber one. So
Please.
this is. Let me just make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah. So like any charge phase, you could even, let's say you're stuck in a pinch, you want to make sure that this thing stays alive so it can shoot in the next turn. You drop your drop even your Fusiliers out and just hold
Oh, shooting combat. Okay.
hold the board down. And then on the next turn, you're just wiping that whole unit. If you know it's
Yeah.
going to be like a giant thing that's going to slowly pinprick you, let's say like Nighthaunt, right? You know, that'll do it. You know, give them the 3+ save, they're good to go.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's like in a pinch, but that being said, you know, whether or not they're in combat, you know, you can figure out what you're going to do. So, I mean, under orders, they count as being under orders. If you just want to drop them right out in front before even having to be stuck in combat, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Book doesn't,
You know, it's
really reward any of the infantry for charging. So why base your decisions around that? You know?
I think there's a really it's kind of funny, like the way that Conqueror Cog Fort is set up because it's so awesome seeming. When you're thinking of like the analog to, you know, what we haven't really talked about, but we can almost gloss over because they're so similar in Warscrolls, which is the outlaw versions, which are the Regiment of Renowns, which is sort of where all the spicy buzz was about, where you can just kind of take one of these. But they changed some of these key rules because they keep all the profiles the exact same in each of them, right? But they get like a little outlaw variant of like, you know, the spirit of the rules. And I feel like on the Cannonade version, their rule is basically, hey, give a little buff to you within 12, which is cool, and it's additive. But on the Conqueror one, which we can get more into it, they totally change it. So it's actually terrible compared to what it is on the Cities of Sigmar version.
I think it's
And what I mean
interesting.
by
I don't think it's terrible, but we'll get to that. We still got one
We'll
more
get to
before
that.
we get there. We got to go
Right.
for the Gate Gargants.
Can I just?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we haven't
Go ahead,
touched the
Rocco.
Gate Gargants?
Yeah, we
We
haven't
missed
touched them
them.
yet. No, I'm very excited about that. But
You guys go do Gate Gargants then.
but yeah, but I want to touch on this execute while there's still street legal.
Mhm.
So the execute, because it's in the supplement, you know, they're here for a good time, not a long time. 2 attacks, 3s and 4s, run 1/1 damage. They have crit mortals on the turn they charge. So you can give them back their damage too that they lost with this Warscroll change with the Conqueror Cog Fort. And again, throw them in as if they charged, and they should pair up with one of the elf here. Probably not anymore.
Maybe not. I honestly have not looked through that because it's the same reason I didn't look through the Beast of Chaos ones. I don't need to sit in that sadness. I'll close the door.
That's true. Maybe we can do a companion episode later on the deep magic of some of these other war scrolls for the Legacy of Year, because people will be interested in that. But I think let's focus on the core book for now. And Gate Gargants, guys, they're the last real war scroll, and we'll come circle back to the Regiments of Renown, Conquer Cog Forces. Those are worth talking about.
Get it, Matt.
I don't know how I feel about this unit, and I think it's purely a visual thing because we'll start out with this. It's 2 stupid gardens holding half a gate, right? So let's say I'm charging at somebody and they're going to hold their gates together. Oh, you can't go through here. Okay, I'll just go around. And that to me, I don't know why, in a game of magnificent craziness, you know, where we have giant flying dragons, I am so just stuck on the fact that they're going to hold a gate together and that will keep everybody out from the middle, which is where they're only going to go, right? But anyways.
Also, I think it's funny on the model. Hold on the model. I didn't realize this. Because they've got like these belts that they wear, and I look down.
Mhm.
So like, oh, cool. There's chains hanging. No, they're chained to the ground.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna help them die on their feet in the stand and still be holding that gate.
Yep. And nobody's going to make
That's
it
a
through the center.
goofy.
They're just they're going to try. That's the only place they're going to go. But those gates are going to hold no matter what. Never mind moving around them. Nobody would ever do that.
Hey.
But anyways, these guys are interesting outside of that. Outside of the models being really unique, they're 8-inch.
They are cool.
Yeah, except for those doors.
Like
when I get them, I'm going to change the doors. I'm probably going to turn them upside down. I feel like the doors would look cooler upside down. So then, like, people can poke them through the iron gates in there and poke them in the shins. I feel like that'd just be funny for some reason. Okay, so movement 8, 3 and up save, 10 health each model, 5 control each model. That's already really good, right there.
Yeah.
Now, actually, I don't know what the cost of these guys is. Let me actually pull that up. Yeah.
300 something for 2 guardians.
320. Okay. So I think it's actually points costed well because it's 20 wounds on a 3+ save, 10 control essentially for a full unit, right? They don't degrade. So like they're that perfect area of monster where it's like these guys will actually do more in support long game than you would expect from like a degrading monster because they're never going to fall down in their effectiveness. Same reason why I love Dragon Ogres, right? They're never going to fall in their effectiveness, and they have high health and, as you'll see, some pretty interesting damage. So ranged weapon is the Scattershot Cannon, 10 inches, 5 attacks, 4s and 3s, Ren 1, D3 damage. Same thing we see on the Cogforts, right? And one shot less. And then they have the massive War Maul. 5 attacks, 4s to hit, 2s to wound, Ren 2, damage 3. That's 10 attacks, 4s to hit, 2s to wound, Ren 2, damage 3 from one unit. And these are not companion attacks. So you can buff them. Now they are monsters, so they're not going to get all the buffs, but you can make some really sad things happen for your opponents just with the damage output and their survivability so far. Because they do have a 6+ ward.
Yeah. That beat me to it. Also, female Gargant, which is, again, really cool. Not a thing that we've actually seen before. And they, compared to a Man Crusher Gargant that's, I guess the pack would be more, the Man Crusher mob here at 350. You get 3 of the goobers at 12 health and a 5-up save. They get a throw and rock profile where it's 1 attack, 5s and 2s, Ren 2, D3. And their melee is they get a club for 4 attacks at 2 damage. They get a 1 kick for D3 damage and 1 headbutt for 4 damage. This is a really nice profile for the Gate Gargants here.
They're survivable in a different way. They're not out wounding, right? They're out saving. They have access to a lot of the benefits from the rest of the army, sans the stuff that can't go to monsters.
They can go benefit orders and be happy.
Yeah, they benefit from orders. They benefit from pretty much most of the battalion or the regiments. So like, they're good. They've got a once per turn army movement phase. Aggressive defenders. You pick up to 3 other visible friendly Sigmar units in combat with the enemy units that are in combat with this unit, which is just the longest run-on sentence ever. And each target can use shoot and or charge abilities, even if it used a retreat in the same turn. In addition, no mortal damage is inflicted on the targets by the retreat abilities for the rest of the turn. So, my goodness, can this do some fun stuff? You know, I love it. I love it. It's so good. You want to reposition? Cool. Great, grand, wonderful. Do you want to actually not waste any of your heat points on your castle? Use these guys. You know, at that point you're spending a lot of points, but c'est la vie. You got some guys with gates. Use them.
Yeah.
And then once per turn army, any charge phase, open the gates. These stupid gates. You pick a visible, friendly, non-war machine cities of Sigmar unit, wholly within 12, and add 2 to the charge rolls for the rest of the turn. That sounds like a great thing for, possibly having a counterpunch if you have some knights that are just hanging around. You can use those for my lovely, lovely steel helms, or it's just non-war machine cities of Sigmar. So any of those characters, use it on Talia if you need to rocket her out there. Pretty good. I don't know what to say else about this unit other than it's solid. The points I think are correct for it. They feel a little high when you talk about the Gargants, but those Gargants are going to last a lot less longer than these guys, especially with the support that you would expect these guys to have,
And again, that 3-pack of Gargants in the Sun's book is 350 currently. But yeah, because of the ward, the wounds are similar enough where because we have a better armor to 3-up, 6-up compared to a 5-up, these guys will last longer. They have more utility. Their damage is much easier to put on to people.
They can heal on.
You want to give them
9
extra
dice.
Ren with hurl them back? You can make these dudes Ren 3 damage.
Yep. You can give them +1 to hit.
You can all out attack.
Yeah, there's some gas there. It's pretty easy gas to get. I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying about these. I think that they're silly, but they have a lot of, again, like this whole book, tons of utility just packed into these scrolls. And this is a Tinkerer's paradise.
10 shots combined, 4s and 3s, 1/1d3 damage for their scattershot cannons. That's
threatening anything. That's threatening anything.
Most armies are like,
It is a bummer to me though, that they couldn't leave a little bit more of that tinkering intact for the shared love versions of these things. I mean, obviously we don't get Gargants for everybody, but we do have Cogforts everybody, right? To kind of return to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to.
And I mean, I don't know if these guys would be needed for our.
That's the thing.
Yeah, they feel very specific to Cities of Sigmar in the way that their Warscroll is built. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
they do.
I don't know if Cities needs Gate Gargants. I want them to have Gate Gargants.
I think other people could benefit from the rule set on Gate Gargants, having free retreat and charge or retreat and shoot on different things. This is a lot of good utility.
I take the Hero Deepkin for the retreat and charge and shoot bullshit. I know it's a great rule.
Yeah, being able to just give +2 to charge is something you want. I mean,
that's great.
Yeah, universally good. I mean, obviously it has a cities feel, but there's a functional. I could find a way to use that fun to it. And that's what I think.
Yeah.
And I'll even go so far as to say this is way better than any other monster that wasn't a hero has ever been in Cities.
Yeah.
This is a great monster war scroll. And you get 2 of them in a unit.
Yeah. And they're non-unique.
It's a fair point.
If you really wanted to, you could do an almost all Gargan army. If you were really that
that would be fun.
Really non-unique.
That would be fun. So wait, they're 300 points for the 2 of them? Is that what it is, man? 300?
320. Yeah. So I mean,
so you could have 6 for 1,000 points.
Yeah, it'd be stupid, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be silly. It'd be very silly.
Yeah, but you know what? That's going to be 30 shots.
Yeah,
you know what you could do You could have one regiment of big helms. Just bring 10.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's
It's so
perfect filler
fun.
right there, to be honest. If you really just want to play spam city, you've got 1,000 point in
Yeah.
Gate Gardens, 1,000 point in Steel Helms, and Alchemite Warforgers, and then you just pick your mortals for the area and, say, hey, DPS check this, because like the amount of wounds, right, that they're going to have to chew through, that's
Did you
at
put
least
mortals
60.
on the Garnet?
No, not on the Gargant. You can put them. You can put them on the. You can put them on the, because I think it's
visible
infantry
friendly
for the.
Sigmarite unit.
Oh, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's just Sigmarite unit.
So, damn. Stonk go up. But like, okay, that sold me even more on just cool. We're doing Gargants and Steel Helms and Warforgers. There we go. There's your list. Have fun.
Well,
Here's a stupid amount of wounds to chew through.
Well, no, think about it now. This is actually more damage than my fucking turtle does.
Yeah.
For 100 points cheaper. It's a 6-up board instead of a 5-up. But like, wait a minute.
What's your speed on the turtle, though? 8, right? 8 or 10? Yeah.
Speed 10. I fly.
Yeah, these
baby girl. But
these aren't infantry, so they're not going to get a lot of the fun stuff, but they get enough.
They get enough.
It's got a lot of gas. So I'm gonna say right there.
Can they give themselves their they pick a friendly, visible, non-war machine City of Sigmar unit holy. They can give themselves the +2 to charge as well.
Mm-hmm. Huh. All the fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking
hard to say.
Aren't shooting combat, but
I think they're gonna ship a few. That's what I'm gonna say, man.
They're selling them damn models, out the gate.
Right. But I do. I see what you did there. Punny is all.
Uh-huh.
But let's revisit where they turn off the fun spigot, because this is the one that gets my gut.
Are you talking about the Army of Renown?
No, not the Army of Renown. That's just this whole wild thing. I'm talking about a thing everyone can enjoy. I'm talking about the Regiment of Renown, where these cog forts are coming out to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really realize this until we reviewed the book, but the versions you see in the book, like the traditional variants, like the for the Conqueror or the shooty one, they have all those rules and they have all those functions, but the outlaw ones, but you can take all the other regiments, they're slightly different. And I think to not to take too much time with them, the outlaw cannonade is exactly the same in all the profiles, except it's one ability beyond that, which is a mercenary attitudes, where you can kind of pick one non-unique unit within 12 of it and give it an effect, which is great. It can either be a reroll run rolls, or add one to charge rolls, add one to wound rolls for close combat attacks, add 10 to control score, or maybe most notably, target cannot be targeted by shooting attacks. It's got a really cool functionality, which is like similar but a little bit different to the original one. And you're like, fine, I can see utility, I can see fun. But the one that gets me, oh, very nice. I mean, there's a lot of that. And if you have a big shooting unit, like your 10 block of like expensive, but good output kind of like infantry, range guys, you can protect them completely or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like fun utility there. But the one that I just feel like, oh, there was a lot of list making here and now it's less so, is the Conqueror variant. Because they took all that stuff that we were just talking about, depositing your unit and your character right into combat or close enough to combat not to matter, and they replaced it with a rule, which is, this is your stop maggots, where it's a once per battle in any charge phase, and you can drop your passengers off, but they can only be within 6 inches of the fort and 9 inches or more away from the enemy units. Still get the charge +1 damage. But now you don't have a bonus to charge or a 3d6 charge. Like, okay, cool. So I'm going to get out and sit here. It's not like I am deposited in combat, which means all these fun ideas you might have had with like units to put in and come sally force me your Conqueror Cogfort, way less alluring. So when I saw this, I'm like, couldn't you have given us just that same rule? Could we all like play with the same like model? Essentially, it's totally different.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because I look at this and I know that there's a bunch of ways in different armies to get charge bonuses, especially from area effects.
Yeah.
And more so, it's just the idea of having that ability just run rampant could be too much.
I can see that for sure. But hear me out. Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so much fun because that's
Oh
like
God, yeah.
they
Yeah.
just
Like,
gave
here's
us
some
ability to their
chosen.
whole book, So I remember when I was first thinking about it, like, oh, what if I did that? I was imagining how fun it would be to put Therodons and a Myrmidon in one of those things.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like any unit that has
There's
plus one
Iron
to
Jaws that
charge,
want that.
any unit
Mhm.
that has access to re-rolling charges, as
Mm.
former Beastman player, I'm so used to the 9-inch charges in the first place that like that kind of thing, I'm like,
Mhm.
I expect that. So maybe that's just me playing lower than the standard army for a long time until they got stupidly good and then so good that they had to be crushed. Um,
It's a fair point.
I do have to say there is something that I like about these. Both of these
Oh.
Warscrolls, and specifically I'm leaning into the Cannonade for a couple of
Same.
reasons. The first one being that there's no overheat token economy here. It's literally just
Yeah.
pick one, which means like I'm not worried about failing that one roll, especially late game.
Mm.
And for the armies that I'm looking at putting this in, like specifically, I'm building one for Nurgle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it will really help. Not being targeted by shooting attacks. Let's say each of my hero
Yeah.
phases, um, until the start of my next turn, I can get any unit. What's a unit that has problems with shooting? All of the flying guys because it's a lower model count. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
you know, adding 10 to the target's
That's great
control
for you.
score, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Add one to the wound rolls, not really that interested in that. But like there's a lot of utility that some of these armies need. Like Blades of Corn, I can see actually making a ton of use out of the Cannonade Concord.
Oh yeah.
Because they kind of need it with some of what's going on right now.
Not to mention, that's again for an army that doesn't normally have shooting. That's a great amount of shooting.
yeah, yeah. Like Blades of Corn, Slaves to Darkness, I could definitely see it. Nurgle, I want to do it just because I have this really awesome conversion in mind.
Mhm.
But like that one to me, I lean on a little bit more, which is hilarious because I kind of want the other one
Mm-hmm.
earlier on, specifically because of that rule, right? But that being said, when I look at the Conqueror, unreinforced unit of, let's say, what's a decent one? Let's say just rot swords. It's 10 guys.
Sure.
Great. They may not make it into the charge, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to make you freaking, not use commands if you charge me in the next turn. I
Mm.
want you to charge me with rod swords because, I can put a hero in and get some good anti-charge stuff with it, right? So like there's
Yeah.
stuff there that you can build with it. Um it does it it's gonna feel weird. That being said, they're cheaper. 470 for the Rogue Engine one, which is the Cannonade, and
Mhm.
450 for the Cogfort. So like
Which is nice.
yeah, they're easier to fit into lists.
Well, I think wait, is the Conqueror the other one 410?
Hmm?
I think the city's one for the troop carrier might be cheaper.
Really? With a much better rule? That's funny.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be, but because you said 4. How much is the Outlaw one, Matt?
Sorry, I was looking at my Nurgle list because I had them in there. 470 for the Cannonade and 450 for the Conqueror.
So the Conqueror in cities is 440.
Yeah.
And
But here,
Cannonade is 530. But yes.
Here with the Conqueror, you have the ability to, let's say, put Chosen in there with a hero.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like that's not something that cities have any access to, like that wound efficiency, right?
That's true.
So like for me, I'm fine with it. Because it offers
Throw
something.
witch elves in there too. God damn.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny though, because like for that functionality, right? Let's just use the Chosen example. Like, so you have the two choices. You're doing like the Outlaw Conqueror, the Outlaw Cannonade one.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I am going to have my 5 Chosen and this hero safe. I'm going to get them up there. I'm going to disgorge them. I'm going to try to get like the maybe Slaneshi mark and make the charge roll work.
Yeah.
But you could just take the shooty one and have them sit right in front of it within like 6 inches, 12 inches of their range is and be untargetable at 10, not 5. So I don't know, I feel like they had such a cool use case and they just neutered it down. But it's still great to have it. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
and maybe good in the long run to not have everybody abusing that same mechanic.
Yeah, I think in the long run, I'm always worried about people just going, here's my dumbest combo that I ever thought of. Right? Well, it is fun. There's always going to be something that people just don't see. And I think this is done for a reason. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually dropped the points on this, but
yeah, they're so gonna
like the Outlaw Conqueror, I like the idea of being able to actually save dudes from charges, right? So like that's where this comes in. Like it only moves 6. Yeah, that's great, grand, wonderful. But like it's more shooting than a lot of the armies on the list that can take it have. And it also keeps people safe that would never have that option. If you're looking at like Heed Knights, you stick a whole stupid unit of Bliss Barb Archers in there, and then all of a sudden you've got a late game unit of Bliss Barb Archers on the field, you know? Like there's a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more like weird shit that you can do with it, which I kind of like.
Can you obscure a KO Ironclad? This? On the Outlaw Candidate?
I have no idea.
Pick a friendly, non-unique unit.
I guess you could. Unique. We'll see how quickly that gets eroded.
Yeah. Sorry, seriously. You got me thinking of broken bullshit. And I'm like, that'd be really interesting if I could hide a 500
There is such a depth to this book we can wax on, but we're in the home stretch, guys. I think at this point all we have left are the 2 Armies of Renown, and then Cities at least has been covered. And just thought-provoking start for all of our friends up there.
I do like the Regiments of Renown, but they're kind of meh. Like meh. Most of the armies that you could take them in already have something equal to or better. But yeah, let's go over the Armies of Renown then.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good spot for our coverage. But let's talk about them real quick. The first one is the Iron March, which I think can be best described as, so you want to play Gargants, but you'd rather have castles.
Yeah, you'd rather shoot.
And it's pretty much, limiting your roster options to Candidate Cog Forts, Emulator Cog Forts, Conqueror Cog Forts, or Linebreaker Cog Forts. And then for each one of them, you can include up to 1 Malice Forge Priest, and you're the free to kill Gallants if it's one of the ones that carries troops. So you have people to put inside them. But that's kind of it, Yeah,
why the Gallants?
We don't charge, we charge. Yeah, why they're like the worst pick, but they're the only pick that they have. So yeah, it should just be Steel Helms, right? That would be
Yeah.
amazing in his
Just
army.
give me all
Steel
steel
helms.
helms and give me the other priest. Give me
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not to gloss over, but they have a bunch of rules. I don't think we need to go into great detail, but the kind of the battle trade is really just like, if you have an Iron March unit, use this sort of form up Iron March ability. You can look at a couple other visible Iron March cogforts, whatever, within 12. And then,
Puts them
the
under
rest of the
orders.
battle, they're under orders. So that they kind of gets around like the limitations there. And then there are this sort of funny thing called Commanders of the Iron March. And I think they just want you to have all these thematic people in the cogforts who kind of have a personality. They do slightly different things. There's a passive for the Castellan captain who adds 1 to wound rolls for contacts made by a friendly Iron March infantry unit, so they're holding than 12 of that unit. There's a Commodore de Grayson, which is sort of like that unit, one of their friendly war machine, can use normal movability in the deployment phase. It kind of gets scooting out ahead. It kind of is a little hazy if you're supposed to assign these to different cogforts like abilities, but there's a whole bunch of them. There's another one for the Castellan captain where you can just pick a visible enemy unit within an inch of it, and on a 3 up, you do mortal damage, or 2 of mortal damage equal the roll, and have their control scarce with funny little effects to try to make it so your cogforts are winning. And that's kind of it. I mean, like, it's reading this, I can't quite tell between the Commanders of the Iron March, the Engineers of the Iron March Auxiliaries, if these abilities are just like everywhere, or if like you have to pick auxiliaries and engineers as sort of like your hero and your artifact trait. But they give you some spice, but not too much.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mortal damage, rally stuff, ward, and strike last. Cool. We've got an always strikes last unit in the book here. You turn one into a priest, which is good. Add 2 to the attacks of the lead shotters. Okay. Or you can set up a free gold marshal, which okay. And then anti-faction and anti-war machine rend. Like, okay. A lot of this is you didn't come here to play the most dialed in army. You came here to have fun and play Hell's Moving Castles, the game, right? The prayer lore is interesting. You can slow people down, subtracting 2 from target move characteristics, for up to 2 if you rolled an 8+. Or you can heal, which is cool. But then we have like, I guess even like smaller differences. I don't know why we have 2 new Warscrolls here in the back of the book. It's actually kind of confusing. Maybe it's because we're striking late tonight, but like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. But
yeah,
it's good for you. If you want to play it, I'm here for it. DPS check all day, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 wounds and a 3 up save.
Yeah.
Which is a bit better than the Gargants get. Not for nothing.
You're fighting.
That's one.
I mean, if you look at it this way, you're fighting a condensed Stormcast list, right? Because you can easily get 100 wounds in a Stormcast list these days with Liberators going down enough in points. The curse of being the early book, right? So if you think about it like that, on average, they're probably putting out the same amount of damage, just because Stormcasts have so many attacks and so many ways to get random stuff going off, right?
Yeah.
100 wounds is not that much when it comes down to it. It's just focus fire. On the other side, play your heart out, man. I would love to see the conversions that come out of this. Like when I read that the rules, it looks like I wanna see somebody converted up with Bretonnians. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you cannot get in my castle. Your mother smelled of elderberries.
Castle on a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Just
the hamster.
Yeah, just full Monty Python that shit.
Oh,
Why the hell not?
No, yeah, you're right.
Make them all
Monty
French.
Python with it. Oui, monsieur. I actually saw this in action at an RTT. Again, it was interesting. It's a lot of shooting. It's very swingy because everything's pretty much it. That's important. Is hitting on a 4. And I will say having a Malice Forge Priest in there to try to make something like make an objective have a ward save for these to sit on and be a little bit around a little bit longer. But yeah, the anti-hero Rend really does tear up a cog for it, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And it's everywhere. I would love to play that. That may be the army that I end up doing instead of Gargants because I just don't have it in me to play Gargants. I just don't. But I can play that army.
You could actually have a very funny converted army, which would be both, where it's like just a Gargant wearing, the old like cartoons where like there's someone wearing a barrel. It's like they're just wearing a cogfoot, like a skirt.
Yeah, wearing a castle.
There was there was a Warhammer cartoon, like a little like comic strip where it was the cities were looking for like where the Gargants where they're gonna do an ambush and all the Gargants are like wearing windmills and shit. A little Don Quixote pun. Where this just fits in perfectly.
Yeah. You can go full blind Chitsu with it too.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. You do a lot of fun stuff with it. Just have Mordheim pick itself up and walk over.
Yep.
I think there's some legs. And, I don't think we even have to really. Oh, go ahead.
I would personally want to see a bunch of Baba Yagas.
Oh yeah, the chicken leg huts, please. That would be so fun. I mean, brought to their like extent, like some of the themes where you could have like a couple different kind of structures, have like a lot of fun with these.
Yeah. And the great thing is you could probably convert them up to be, however you wanted to look. Like you could do one for each chaos god, etc. But let's go to the free cities, them allies, the other army of renown.
I don't know how much time we really need to spend on this one. You guys correct me if you think differently, but I think this is just a way for people to play old cities. Because it's all the stuff from the Index Warscrolls that we probably didn't need to spend a whole separate episode talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's putting your Sigmar units and it's forcing you to use some ratios because they're all together.
Yeah. I hate to say it, good sir, but it's not even that. It's not even that. It's such a weird letdown. And it's great if you already have these armies. I've got a bunch of Fire Slayers and I've got a bunch of Lumineth, but like these aren't even the units that I like to take. To be 100% honest, although I do love Hearthguard. And that's the main kicker, which is like, okay, what's going on with this, guys? What were you thinking? So,
I mean, but also I don't think of Hearthguard at. Yeah, it's the pikes, it's the shooting, but I want my fucking axes if I'm doing this.
Yeah, and that's where it's just really weird. So the roster options are any non-unique Sigmarite units, meaning you lose half of the characters, which is a third of the book, essentially, when you think about it.
Yeah.
You can use any allies of the Free City Duarden, any allies of the Free City Elf, which is essentially 4 units, from what I can tell.
Wait. I totally misinterpreted that. I thought it was just using what they just released, just these 4 scrolls. Okay,
it's literally just these 4 scrolls.
It's an interesting disappointment. And we're not going to end on a total disappointment because there are things that you can do here. It's just so underwhelming when you look at the rest of the book that you wonder, like, what's going on, guys? What's going on?
Yeah.
And so battle traits are form up allies. Form up, comma, allies! Exclamation. You pick a friendly allies of the Free Cities unit to use this ability, then pick 2 other visible friendly allies of the Free City units wholly within 12 to be the targets. They cannot be under orders, and they must each be a different unit type. So already we're getting into that if then cascade. But what this essentially does is just puts them under orders. So cool,
Yeah.
But like, it has to be a different unit type. Like, why? Who knows?
Yeah.
So the other one is a passive. Oh, and this is start a battle round for that last one. But this one's a passive. Forces of Order. While 3 friendly allies of the Free Cities are wholly within 12 of each other, and one of those units has the Elf, one has Dwarden, and one is Sigmarite. They all have a ward 5+ against shooting attacks. They have an extra 3 to the unit's control scores, and you add 1 to wound rolls for those units' combat attacks. It's good for the elves and the humans. It does fix some problems, that we were talking about earlier in the book, where 4 and up to wound is predominant. But again, it's another one of these things where it's like, okay, I've got to engineer this weird little bubble. How many times am I going to do that, right?
Well, you'd also hope, right? That's your 3 units that are together with your orders anyway.
Yeah, but it's Elf, Dward, and Sigmarite. Are those actually going to work together?
Yeah. No. Yeah, we've already gone over how all the city stuff needs to be together to work together anyway.
And so the heroic traits are interesting. You can use Respected Commander, which is a reaction when you declared the redeploy command for visible allies of the Free City units wholly within 18 inches of that unit. If you roll 1 through 3, you can use a value of 4 instead. Cool. Works much better for Nurgle than it does.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe dwarfs if you're doing all dwarfies. The artifact is Signet of the City. Pick this unit and each visible friendly allies unit wholly within 18. They're under orders. The targets have a ward 6, and the targets have a maximum control score of 1. This is once per battle army, any hero phase. Now, how in the world does that work with Forces of Order, giving it a worse ward save? Who knows? Very strange. Maybe if you've got guys outside of your 3. Spell lore.
Yeah, where you've been like so chewed up and it's late game, you're throwing it on there.
I guess, but like when you're here, I know I would be going for the heroes so that no orders are being issued if I'm going up against cities. Yeah. So like, how is that going to happen? Like, I'm really going to dog on this one just because Games Workshop, you fumbled the ball, and I got to pick 6 out of that shit because you fumbled it into my hands.
Better versions of this, yeah. The better version of this was the 2nd edition book.
Yeah.
We played the book where this was awesome. Why are we here?
There are interesting things. So the spell lore is actually kind of interesting because it's unlimited. So you can throw mortals still on there if you're using the, of course, Alchemite Warforger. But you also have the ability to throw another unit wholly within 18, or sorry, pick an objective within 18, and roll a 7. For the rest of the turn, melee used by friendly allies of the Free Cities units have charge +1 damage for attacks that target enemy units. So you can get a damage 3 Free Guild Cavaliers out of that. That's cool.
You can
I
get.
I mean,
troops
I think
with-
we all agree that this is like, why'd you do this one, GW?
Yeah.
But maybe leaving it alone. Interesting attempt. The rest of the book is
don't get
very
it.
fun and very potent. You know,
Yeah, and
we can
I
close
don't
a chapter in this one.
I don't get it.
real quickly too, the 4 units that we get Eric Hearthguard, we get Vulcan Flameseekers, we get Venari Orlon Wardens to represent Settlers Gain, and we get Sentinels as well, because we didn't have enough shooting. And cool for actually saying the Fire Slayers that they've worked with the whole time finally get a little representation. The one unit I'd be interested in would be the Wardens, but because we have all the other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I guess anti-monster with the Flame Seekers is nice, but meh.
Yeah, it just doesn't
I
make
think
any
Mez
sense.
the word.
It doesn't make
Mez the word.
doesn't make any sense. Why only Hearthguard and not their alternate kit? It's literally a 2-build kit.
I mean, if you're going to go down this road at all, why not other scrolls? Why not 4 scrolls from each to make it more interesting? There's enough stuff in there to do something, but they didn't.
Yeah, why
So,
why not just say, hey, both ranges are at your disposal. We can do some cool shit.
I mean,
if it's I don't
yeah, and just not include heroes or cap 1 hero or something. That I don't know who they made that for, because they definitely didn't make it for anybody that played Cities of Sigmar.
No.
You know what I mean?
They've made this for people who like the idea of like the combined arms force and have some units from a bunch of different order armies. Pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can use your old units in this as, like Dwarf Thunderers can be your, your Hearthguard or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But like, it doesn't even proxy well. I just.
No, they're all on the except for the Hearthguard. Everything's on the 28.5mm base. You have to rebase all your shit anyway, and they don't really sell those bases loose.
Yeah, I feel like we don't generally harp on books, but like
no,
I feel like this one needs a particular ire, and only because the rest of the book is so good.
Yeah,
and you end the book with this Regiment of Renown where you're like, or Army of Renown where you're like, so those were pages, right?
yeah.
I don't know. Everything else about this book is amazing. If you play this army and you are the person that loves challenging a challenge with a challenge of its own, a challengeception, if you will, please take it and go win a tournament. Prove us wrong. Don't even win a tournament.
There's someone out there. There's someone out there that should do that, and I think that would be really fun. So
go 3-2.
That's the gauntlet, guys. Show the allies have some legs. That's what we're gonna do. And I think, guys, that brings us to a thrilling conclusion to our cities arc. 3 episodes, 3 very good deep dives and aspects of this cool book and all the things you can bring to the table. They can help all you listeners out there bring some fun things to the table, which have endless play possibilities. So yeah. It's worth some thinking, worth some doing.
If you made it all the way to the end, give us a like, give us a subscribe. I truly appreciate you listening. And if you do like these, these longer breakdowns that we're spreading out over episodes, I feel like we actually get a lot more than other book reviews in at least a semi-digestible format. If you guys like this, let us know. Leave a comment telling us whether or not we should, cut it down, or take the time to do these, because I'm enjoying the breakdown on each. These books are so dense now with the possibilities. It almost feels like we need it.
I would agree with that. I think hopefully people are finding some value in that. So let us know, guys, if you love it. comment sections are always open, and feel free to hop in the Discord and chat about what you want to see in the next one. We're always all ears.
And we're going to have
And-
another RTT soon once the new GHB drops.
Exactly. The second we get that GHB, we're going to kick it off. 3 rounds over about a month. Give people a chance to, wet their whistle with what all these new plans and battle, sort of like adjustments are.
Yep.
But stay tuned there.
Yep.
Guys, are we at the point where we have to figure out the last word?
We're in a good
think
place, buddy.
We are in that good place. Oh,
Oh,
man.
man. What could the word be? Dogfort.
Cogfort.
Hello, everybody. It is Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Always Strikes Last promo. That's right. Ring that bell. Leave a like, a subscribe. On whatever platform you're listening to us on, be it YouTube, be it Podbean, whatever you got these days, so you can keep up to date. Don't forget, we have a Patreon, if you want to, give us a thank you for all the stuff we put out. That gets you into our member-exclusive Discord. And if you want to be an even bigger supporter, we've got a merch store.